again. So obviously you can see I'm in a different vehicle right now, and pardon my voice, I've actually been sick the last 3 days or so. I had a 104 point something fever, and managed to get it down to below 100 today, but unfortunately I've got so much crap that I have to do. I can't lay in bed any longer, although I'd love to. It's pretty much what I've been doing the last 2.5, 3 days. But anyway, so I got my dad's truck. This is a 2000, I think it's a 2005 Ram 1500 quad cab with the 5.7 liter Hemi. That's a nice truck. It's definitely got miles on it. I guess the guy that owned it before, this is a two owner. My dad's the second owner. The guy that owned it before hauled trailers with it, so he was always on the road with it. And then it's got a I think it's a 2 or a 3-inch lift, so it's it's definitely a different experience getting in this truck than it is getting in the Grand Prix. Having to actually grab a hold of this handle here just to get myself in the truck. It doesn't actually have side steps, which is unfortunate, but it's not too bad. My dad's condition, he barely drives this thing. He's probably put about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 miles on this thing in a whole year that he's had it. So it's really hard for him to walk, let alone lift himself up into this truck. So it's pretty much been parked in his driveway since he got it, because he got it shortly before he had his stroke. So he's letting me borrow it. He has no use for it, just sitting there, and it's definitely a gas hog. My God, I thought my Grand Prix was bad in gas. This thing is just horrible. I'm actually going to get gas right now, because I got some things to do. I actually ordered some new boots last week. I had to special order them because of my foot size or whatever. I was fitted. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a Red Wings boot store, but my dad has actually always used Red Wing boots and has always been happy with them. And being that I'm on my feet for 8-10 hours a day, buying the cheap, retail store off-the-shelf boots, I get about 6 months out of them. And the Red Wing boots, they last a lot longer, plus they have a 1-year warranty for anything that needs to be done to them. So I actually have to go pick those up. They've been at the store since Monday, but I've been sick. So yeah, this thing is definitely a gas hog, but that's what you get with a truck like this and a Hemi. It's not something that you'd expect to cruise around like a Prius. But I do like it. It's definitely a different experience when you're used to driving a car. This thing, the body roll on it, I mean, it's a different experience. This high up, plus it's long. It's 250 inches long. It won't even fit in my garage. I tried to get it in my garage, and about a foot of the tailgate, or the foot of the ass end of the truck, stuck out of the garage door, and I got it up to the wall as far as I could. Anyway, I'm gonna grab gas real quick. $40, which will usually fill up my Pontiac. Probably didn't even touch this thing. I don't know if this thing's got a 30 gallon or a 27 gallon tank in it, but that only put about 17 gallons in it. Oh geez, it only moved it up to not even 3/4 of a tank. Holy crap. So yeah, this thing is at least I can put regular in it. That's one upside. It will run in regular. But overall, it's a decent truck. What do you expect for 225,000 miles? And the year, it's what, 12 years old, 13 years old now. Excuse me. So anyway, I'm just heading to the boots place to pick up my boots. I don't know what kind of power this thing actually has. I haven't gotten on it. I don't really want to. It's got an exhaust leak, right behind the manifolds. There's a small leak in it. It sounds like a wheel bearing might be acting up a little bit. I had it on the highway once, and there's something going on with the vehicle speed sensor because it kind of fluctuates. So I tried to use cruise the last time that I was on the highway, and it was like doing this the whole time because it couldn't figure out the speed right. It was fluctuating too much, and I think it has a wheel speed sensor that's either bad or probably the wheel bearing itself is bad. It definitely handles like a truck, there's no doubt about it. I mean, my car isn't exactly a Corvette or anything, but I had to give myself some extra turning radius. It not being able to take something like this corner very well, it's definitely an adjustment. If you're used to driving a truck, I mean, I drove a truck for years. Nothing nearly as big as this. It just doesn't have that get up and go that you expect from something else. So anyway, let's go over some updates here on the Grand Prix. So I did manage to get everything worked out for the insurance. I got a payout, and I'm actually going to be putting the money back into the car. I haven't decided how far down into the motor I'm going to go. The fact is that it could be something as simple as just replacing the lifters, or it could be much more than that. I mean, if I'm going as far as replacing just the lifters, I might as well have the heads redone. Maybe look at a new intake. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of going over all of my options, trying to figure out what I want to do. But the car is basically going to be in the garage all winter long while I work on it, again, like last year. So I guess that's a good thing. It's not going to be on the road during the winter. But like I said, I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do yet. I pressure tested the cylinders, and one of the cylinders, number 4, the one that was dead before, is pretty much dead. So I think I'm going to have to do a full rebuild. I thought about just getting a used 08-09 motor, but again, you run into the problem of you don't know how well it was taken care of before you got it. It may be a pristine motor that your grandma drove everywhere, but even if it was not beat up on, the displacement on demand beats up on the motor by itself. It doesn't need the help of your foot to kill it. So if I pull the motor out, which I can do in less than a day, because I've already done it twice now. If I pull the motor out and I rebuild the motor from the bottom up, I'm looking at about $2,500 for everything. that would be a rebuild kit, which would be new pistons and rings. I would have to have crank work done, obviously. Obviously, it would include new bearings, and I'd probably go with ARP bolts. Definitely want to get rid of that DOD crap, so it would require a new cam, probably LS7 or LS6 lifters, and then an intake to go with it, and then of course a tune. So, you know, that's quite a bit of work that you're looking at, and it's about $2,500 priced out, not including the tune. So I'm definitely gonna have to get it tuned. Man, there's a guy up there that's like holding up all the traffic in the left-hand lane. So I'm definitely gonna have to get it tuned. But again, I'm not diving into it today. I'm going all over my options. There's a couple of guys on Facebook, the LS4 Nations group, have been giving me some suggestions on, you know, what my best route should be. You know, basically rebuilding the motor isn't something as simple as pulling out all the old parts and putting in the new parts. You have to have the block honed and clean, and you just have to make sure that this idiot's gonna, you know, I thought for sure that blue car over there was gonna try to squeak by. That's what you get for waiting until the last second to get over. So, excuse me, again, I got a lot of options on the table. Fortunately, lucky for me, you know, having full coverage on the vehicle and then having the damage done, quite literally on this highway, having the damage done, it was covered under my insurance. Less the deductible, but still, that's enough money for me to get the car back on the road and done right. I don't want to just hogwash the thing together, you know, just to save a few pennies. I want to get it done right. I'm going to take my time with it. Back when I was first looking at my transmission, and I was looking at the huge project that was ahead, pulling the motor and transmission out, doing, you know, front end work. You know, I felt to myself like it was overwhelming. Like there was, like this was out of my hands. This was beyond my capabilities. And then I found that it really wasn't. I just took my time and did everything that I could have done right, and it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't that bad. So I've actually never rebuilt a motor before. My dad has several times. He had a '78 Cheyenne pickup, and it had a small block 400 in it. And he put a big block 396 in that. He built it from a kit. He bought the GM Performance hot rod kit, and he built that motor piece by piece. I remember when UPS, UPS freighted it to us. I remember the big crate of parts, you know, what you would expect to see from a crate motor. I remember that pulled up, and well, they had a special dolly that they used to get it out of the truck. And all of these parts for a complete build, including the carburetor, were there. All he needed to do was build it. And he did. I remember, I don't know how long it took. You know, I was about 7 years old. Probably took him about 2-3 months. It wasn't anything he was in a hurry to do. I think that had a turbo hydromatic 400 in it, and he had to have it built by Lansing Transmission took the transmission to them and they built it up so that it could handle all that extra torque that the 396 is going to throw at it. And I can still remember the first time he started it up and the first drive around the block. You know, there was a lot of... It was awesome. I mean, it was cool to see the big motor hanging from the garage roof while he was lowering it and stuff like that. You know, I think that's where I kind of got my interest in cars, motors, things like that. So, well, I watched my dad do it, and he didn't have any problems with it. Eventually, he had to sell the truck, but it was quite a bit faster. It wasn't so much, you know, neck launching, because the small block 400 was still a pretty stout motor by itself. It was the fact that he could floor it and just roast those tires. I mean, they just destroyed tires. It wasn't super fast. It wasn't a 10-second car by any means, but it was the acceleration was just constant. I mean, some of the things that we did in that truck, my dad would probably be in jail for while I was riding along with him. But anyway, I won't go into that. And needless to say, it was fun after that. But so tearing apart the motor really isn't that difficult. Pulling it apart piece by piece, it's putting it back together that's the more interesting part. Even that, as long as you follow the directions, torque everything down the way that it's supposed to be torqued, don't rush it, you know, don't jam the cam in, don't drop the crank in on the bearings, you know, things like that. I mean, I've seen enough motors rebuilt that I know the basics, and it's going to be a big project, but again, I'm going to be taking my time. I did everything with the transmission. I had some naysayers say going out the top with the motor and transmission is a bad idea. It's never going to work. And I did it. I did it without a problem. Saved removing all the steering crap. So anyway, I mean, it's I've got options. That's all there is to it. So for now, at least, I will not be driving the car. And yes, with everything that I've learned pulling the motor out, I know exactly how to get it out in every respect. I got the tools to do it, and I'm going to get even better video footage. You know, it's just you learn. You just learn by doing things. It's not something that you look in a book and say, here you go, and do it. I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, practice makes perfect. So, it's just the way that it is. But, anyway, man, they really need to make this 3 lanes all the way down. I cannot believe that all the work they've put into this 496 interchange, that they have not made it 3 lanes all the way down. It goes from 3 to 2 during the interchange, and 5 o'clock traffic, it slows down to a crawl. And there's not clear directions, unless you know exactly where you're going. There's not clear directions as far as what highway you want to get on. It's not until you get almost all the way up there that it says, oh, by the way, left 2 lanes. 96 east and right 2 lanes. Well, actually, right-hand lane only for 96 west. But anyway, you'll see I'm going to be coming up here pretty soon. Those of you who drive this know that this is horrible. I mean, it's not even 5 o'clock or morning rush hour traffic. You can see the other side over there. It's moving, but it's definitely congested. That's nothing compared to. I mean, I've driven down here during congestion times, and it's been stop and go. But, anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not afraid to take it all apart. Thought about getting a used LS4, motor, but again, $800,000. You don't exactly know what you're getting. I actually thought about getting a used motor just to tear apart and then rebuild and then drop it in. But again, it's not that I need to decide right today. I'm just kind of going over my options right now. There's a lot that I can do, but to be honest, I don't really need to drop a whole bunch of money into it to try to get it to all high performance or anything else like that. I'm so used to driving along the same speed that all these people are, and I just don't feel comfortable, I guess, in this truck doing that. So I'll keep you updated, obviously. I'm not going to have this camera in the truck the whole time, so unfortunately I was able to get one drive-along video. Dang it. I hate this sick crap. I was able to get one drive-along video. That's it. But I don't like the. It's like I feel like I could merge into somebody with this thing because it's so long. It's 250 inches with a quad cab and the 9-foot bed, 8.5 foot. Something like that. It's huge. Well, I'm told you can get like 350 or 400 miles on the tank. I believe it. Got a little over half the tank and it's 183 miles. So again, I'll keep you updated. Gotta get over this sick crap. Gotta go back to work. I've been working the last 2 days. I was pretty much in bed the last 2 days, sleeping most of it. So I have to get back to work and then figure out what I'm gonna do. I gotta figure out the best option. So, did have plans for things like videos on doing more green screen stuff. They kind of fell over just because of everything that's going on. I'm still planning it, but I'd really like to be able to get a DSLR camera because as cool as that camera is and as compact and great as it is, yes, it looks great quality wise. I really love photography, videography, and I'd really like to be able to get a DSLR that I can go on photography excursions and so on, do that, but it just kind of depends. A good, or at least a mid-range DSLR, you're looking at $800-900 for a kit. You go anything above that, like a 7200 Nikon or whatever, and the money just adds up. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. I don't really have anything else to say. You guys don't need to be watching me drive all the way down to the boot store, which is about another 5 or 10 minutes from here. So again, I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know what's going on. We got got quite a bit going on, so of course anything that I do to the car, you know, I'll get it on video. So I will catch y'all later. Take care.